If you have ever wondered what devices are connected to your Wi-Fi, whether someone is piggybacking on your network, or why your internet suddenly feels slow, there is a good chance you have heard me recommend Fing. I have been using Fing for years, since I first mentioned it on a video that I did on, I think it was the Tech Thing channel, way back in the day, before I started my own YouTube channel. Now Fing must have seen one of those old videos, because now I get to work with them. Fing is partnering with me on this video to introduce their newest version of Fing Desktop, which is version 4.0. Now, they have released the biggest update in the history of the desktop app, and it's a complete rewrite of the app from the ground up. I know you have a lot of questions. Last time I covered Fing in the springtime, so today we're also going to discuss your biggest question from that video. Is Fing trustworthy? Are they collecting all of your data about your network? So first, we have a quick refresher. Fing is not a VPN. It's not antivirus for your network. It's also not malware protection. It offers network visibility, giving you a more transparent look at your network. This is especially useful as a tool for consumers who are not network pros and you need something that is really easy to decipher. For example, it's going to tell you what devices are connected, who just joined, what's using bandwidth, whether something looks suspicious, whether your network has configuration problems. Now, unless you have a fairly customizable network router, which some people do, data can be kind of cryptic on the admin panel. Fing gives you an actual inventory of your home network. So for people with smart homes, parents, remote workers, content creators, hey, that's me, or anybody who's accumulated like 60 Wi-Fi devices over the years, then this can be incredibly useful information. So now we have version 4.0. This is the largest update that Fing has shipped of the desktop app. According to Fing, it's a complete rebuild of the desktop application on a newer foundation that also aligns with the web experience, making future development a lot faster, and it should be more secure too. So TLDR, if you have used the web app and like that UI, then you will see a more streamlined experience now on the desktop as well. So the first thing you're going to notice is everything looks really modern. Version 3 always felt very functional. It worked really well, but version 4 feels a lot more polished. So the dashboard is a lot cleaner. It's really easy to read. Navigation makes a lot more sense. The information is spaced better. I mean, I got old eyeballs, but even if I was still younger, then I would feel like, wow, this looks way more modern, much more streamlined, really clean. The app now feels consistent with the web interface instead of feeling like a completely separate product. I also noticed that it aligns really well with the mobile app too. They all kind of look like the same product now, just on different screens, which I really appreciate because once you learn one, it's really easy to hop into the other one and be able to use it just fine. Now, one thing I did not realize that I wanted until I used it was the browser style navigation. This is a very simple update, but it's also like a quality of life type of improvement. You now have forward and back buttons that now make moving around the app feel a lot more natural. That makes the software feel substantially more responsive during day-to-day use. And the other big change is that we finally have a dark mode. Now, I did see a few comments on my last video, so I know it was a really popular critique, and I know people were wanting a dark mode. So my eyeballs appreciate it, and I'm sure yours will too. My eyeballs are just super happy with all these changes. Now, several of Fing's most used utilities also received some visual updates. That's going to include things like speed testing, ping, DNS benchmarking. The functionality itself has not changed, but the data is presented much more cleanly. There's also a better organization of tools, including they moved the health check into the tools section, where I think it makes a lot more sense. And I think this is probably the biggest upgrade you don't immediately notice, but it's likely the one that the devs are most proud of, because this is an improvement that helps your whole computer, not just the application itself. So the application launches faster, scans are faster, responsiveness feels quicker, and the installer actually went from roughly like 300 megs down to about 50 megs. That's an over 80% reduction in download size, so the app feels a lot less processor intensive and it runs more smoothly in the background as well. And Mac users should know one really important change. Version 4.0 is now native for Apple Silicon, so that means that M series Macs get better performance and efficiency too. Intel Mac support has officially ended for version 4.0 though, so if you're still using an Intel Mac, you will remain on the older release instead of receiving future 4. Whatever updates. So Fing did not reinvent the core features all about discovering what's on your network. All that stuff still works the same, like device discovery, your alerts if you have any set up, network inventory, security checks, internet performance testing, all of those things work the same. And those are really the heart of the application. So I'm glad they didn't remove any of that cool stuff. So now let's answer the question that I saw over and over on my last Fing video. Is this basically surveillance software? And the short answer is no. Fing is monitoring your own network or a network that you are already authorized to have access to. It discovers devices that are already communicating with each other on that network and with your router. It's similar to using the router's admin page, assuming the router allows you to see all that information. But Fing makes it dramatically easier to understand from a consumer perspective. All these devices are already visible on the network, and devices talk to each other using things like pings. Fing organizes it all into an easy-to-read text. Now, the other question I saw is, if Fing can be trusted, and that is gonna be entirely up to you at the end of the day, but I still say that I have recommended Fing for years because the company has spent well over a decade focused almost exclusively on network discovery and home network management. They've built one of those largest device recognition databases in the industry. They're not some startup that appeared 6 months ago trying to harvest user data, or they're not trying to push some kind of AI tool at you. They also recently achieved SOC 2 Type 2 certification, which is a significant independent audit of how a company protects customer data and operates its security controls over time. Now, SOC 2 certification, this does not magically mean that a company is going to be perfect, but it does mean an independent auditor evaluated the effectiveness of their security controls instead of the company simply saying on their website, "Trust us," without anything to back it up. I like seeing accountability and third-party auditing, especially when it comes to security tools. So the audit looked at their asset management, the engineering process, like the whole thing, incident response and security monitoring, vulnerability management, data protection, and the company's business continuity and disaster recovery policies. The auditor found no exceptions to note in the examination. I do appreciate that kind of transparency, and I've linked to their news post about this down below so you can read it for yourself. So if you have multiple networks or just a lot of connected devices, then it can be very useful for visibility to use Fing Desktop. I like that Fing has done work to see what products on my network are end of life. They're no longer supported by the brands that I bought them from years ago. I had smart plugs that are no longer being updated, so I'm gonna replace those, for example. Overall, I think Fing Desktop 4.0 is exactly the kind of update that a mature software product should receive. It's not overcomplicating the process, and it is rebuilt to make it faster, modern, and cleaner. And they are investing in security behind the scenes, which is really great to see. Thanks again to Fing for sponsoring this overview video and this news, and let me know if you have any questions down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.